One more. Alright, one more. Oops. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Good. Who's all here? Hi, Mary Jane Doe. Hi, Brian Bremer. Wow, it's been a while. Hi, Arco Show. Arco Show, I'm so glad you're here. I meant to leave it in Messenger for you. She has a little affirmation book, you guys, that she sold. Sarah's her name. She's a friend of mine from Italy. Known her a couple of years now, and she's Arco Show, and she sold it on Amazon. That's a big darn deal. Maybe you can, I don't know, would you ever want to come up on my panel and showcase it or show it or read it or anything? Because you're really good with words. I've always told you that. You're such an amazing writer. And Sherry from Wild Angels Bucket List of Adventures, she would be impressed too, because she likes to write. Hi, Freeside. Hi, Halloween Baby. Thank you. Yeah, it was nice. Went to Dairy Queen with my daughter and brought back some food for my son. And you guys, I was so stuffed. I ordered the flamethrower burger. I got the double patty. Boy, you want to fill up more, get a double patty. I don't think I'll do that again, though. And, of course, the fries and a Pepsi. I didn't get diet, but oh well. Hi, Daniel Berry Sports. And thank you, Halloween Baby. She says, happy heavenly birthday, beautiful mom. Yeah, it's my mom's birthday today. If she was alive, do they have birthdays in heaven? I suppose. Hi, Tashi 2.0. Hi. I'm assuming this is the, Tashi from Australia. Hi, Glitters and Gold. Hi there. Good to see you too. It's been a while. Hi, everybody. Thank you. So it's 10 to 8 or quarter to 8 or something. So it's like quarter to 11 Eastern time and all that. And I went over to Hi Martin's channel and dipped in there a little bit and said hi, and actually took time to chat a little and said hi in Sierra's for a little bit. And if the topic is Koberger or whatever, I don't stay in chats anymore. I have enough mayhem going on in my own life. It doesn't mean I don't care, and it doesn't mean I don't care about, justice and all that, but I can't listen to it anymore. And every time I check my email, my gosh, you guys, I'm just going to say it. Some father didn't even take a gun and do it to make sure it was quick. Stabbed, or STABBED'd, his, I think they were 16 and 18-year-old sons, and his wife, and then himself. And on March 4th, killed them all. On March 4th, he was standing over his wife with a knife. Yeah, it's incredible. And she was like, oh my gosh, you need help. He was very depressed. But she saw that, and then she dies from that. When? 2 months later or something? So it's just terrible, you guys. And that's in Nebraska, just, a cornfield town. They looked kind of country-like, and how sad. And to make matters worse, he chooses to do this. I mean, I don't feel a bit sorry for him. I know he's gone. He had depression, but this is disgusting. He does it on his oldest son's graduation day. This is what I mean. Hi, Sister Callie. Hi. Yeah, I mean, and then I just read another MURDERSUCIDE. And I don't know. Men, these fathers, right? They need to get it together. I mean, I'm not saying women aren't bad and they do hurt their families, but do they go after their husband and all their kids like that? No, it's usually bad enough with just their kids. It's just so sickening, you guys. It's sickening. But yeah, I have my photo album here of some pictures of my mom that, because I might get a little teary. Um, yeah, it's horribly heartbreaking. You know, it's just one thing after another and this and that. And a whole bunch of kids went to a petting zoo place, animal farm, I mean. And we're talking like 70 of them are really, really sick. Maybe it was 100. And like 14 are hospitalized. I mean, it's like over getting a cryptosporidium. They said that's what it was. So like I go to my email, right, to make sure a package isn't coming, or because my daughter's been having really bad neck pain, and I got an incredible, it's called zenfluffco.com. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what's in them. I don't know if it's feathers, but it's the most incredible pillow. So I gave her my pillow last night and I said, look, just use this all night, see what happens. Sure enough, her neck didn't hurt as bad. She slept really good. It's like sleeping on clouds or something. It doesn't mash in, you know, to form. I've tried them all. The bamboo, the, what's it called? The American made, whatever one. I've tried them all. Even the ergonomic was pretty good for a while, but that's too, it's just not soft enough. So, so I ordered my son one and myself one, and I'm going to let her keep that one. Did you see the guy? Yes, Halloween baby. The guy in Ohio killed his ex and her BF. Yes, I saw that too. Well, hi, Mr. Big Stuff. Hi, PCT. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we need to create our own happiness and peace. Halloween baby, good Lord. On 1,000-pound sisters, one went to the zoo and got bit by a camel. Gosh, really? I thought those women lost weight, or was it one of them? And one or two of them got married, or I don't know. Yeah, yeah, so let me know how my sound keeps going, okay? And I'll read the disclaimer, and I don't know if it has to be in chat. It probably does. I'm going to get my seat and turn this fan on at least a 1 because it's warmish in here again. The window is closed because the kids are playing, you know, and they have those little dart guns. And oh, good. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Oh, shoot. Now I lost my place. Okay, I'll find it. There it is. Okay, so this is what I usually do. I was planning on just playing Patrick, the first 2 songs that were mellow. Aren't they beautiful? It's Patrick Patricchio or something like that. And the second song that goes da, 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 like that, the second one of this live is called Voices. And I've announced her channel before. Now I know where she got the tune from. I figured it was an Irish tune. Thank you, Mary Jane Doe. Hi, Sierra. Hey, thanks for being here. It's called Irish Irish Coffee True Crime. And she's amazing. She has a lot of subs, and she's from Ireland herself, and she's, been to different towns where these MURDERs have happened, and it's the same kind of true crime. Women just walking down the street or disappearing or whatever. And when I was all into this stuff, I subscribed to her, and I watched every single one. And then I don't know, it just got a little too sad for me, and I stopped about 8 months ago. I just couldn't keep up anymore. It's just so, and then also the older my daughter got, and the more I know she's going to be on her own, and walking around, I just didn't want to get too fearful. So Irish Coffee True Crime, that is her introductory song. I don't know about lately, but like the whole past few years, she's a so pretty. It's called Voices by that Patrick guy. So I'm going to do what I usually do. They both have it. Follows the family journey now. Yeah. Sierra Queen Pin Clark has her own channel. If you guys haven't heard of her, and I'm pretty sure most of you have, please sub up to her. She's working hard over there and puts out some good content too. Thanks for the 21 in the tulip fields. Thanks for everybody being here. I'm going to turn my camera off, okay? And it'll be a little easier to focus on my voice and what I'm saying. It's not too much reading as usual. This might be a little bit more than 2 days ago. I didn't go live last night. I just kind of, after we came back, Shaylin was spending some time with me, and I didn't want to just like up and get off the couch and come in here and do live. It's Mother's Day, and I'm seeing how incredibly hard that was on her. My Takotsubo heart attack thing, it's still weighs on her a little bit, worries her, and we're not getting any younger, right? Yeah. And Mary Jane Doe, I think you have a channel, and all kinds of people. That is understandable, says Mr. Big Stuff. All right, so here I go. And it's from the book, The Wise Heart. And I'm trying to be wise with my choices in life, how I treat people, how I need to set boundaries and keep them, how I allow people to treat me. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. It's from this book by Jack Kornfield, and I just read different parts. I don't read like whole chapters and stuff. Okay, so selflessness gives birth to the tender heart. This is identification with role and image. Okay, and last time I read a little bit about the illusion, the mysterious illusion of self, having to do with ego and mindfulness and things like that. All right. To be wise, we need to be able to enter each role fully with awareness and compassion and let it go when our part is done. When we marry, we have to let go of being single. When our children become adults, we have to let go of our old role of helping manage their life. When we take a new job or leave one, retire, or change from employee to manager, we need to let one role go and take up another. We can be free only if underneath all these temporary roles, we do not forget that they are not who we really are. In the same way, that we identify with a role. We can identify with a self-image. Do I look intelligent, attractive, strong? Okay, let me see something. Oh, okay. I was thinking I read this already, but I didn't. Okay. Do I look intelligent, attractive, strong? Usually we worry in this way because we also feel the opposite qualities in ourselves. So to compensate, we create a self-image. A colleague of mine found these compensatory thoughts so frequent in his meditation, he began to humor his... I have read this, you guys. I knew I read this. Looking good, looking good. This isn't... I already read all this. What's going on? Oh, that bothers me. What's going on? What did I read all the way up to? How weird. Gosh, you guys. Okay, selflessness gives birth to the tender heart. We have all had the experience of being with people who belong to life in an easy and flexible way. They don't take things personally. They are gracious, receptive, present, yet not rigid. There is not a lot of clinging to their point of view, not a strong attachment to the way things should be, not a rigid grasping of me or mine. Selflessness is not a pathologically detached state, disconnected from the world, nor is it a state where we are caught in a new spiritual identity. See how selfless I am? Selflessness is always here. In any moment, we can let go and experience life without calling it me or mine. When you understand, you will see that you are nothing, and being nothing, you are everything. When identification with the small sense of self drops away, what remains is the spacious heart that is connected with all things. The creation of self is a process that can be observed moment to moment. It arises when we identify with some part of our experience and call it me or mine, my body, my personality, my views, my things. We can become mindful of the creation and dissolution of the sense of self. We can see what it's like when the identification with self is strong, when it is weak, when it is absent. Become mindful of the comparing mind. See how the sense of self arises when we compare ourselves with others. How does this form of self feel when it is grasped? How is it when it is absent? Then notice what happens when you're criticized. If someone insults or disparages you, notice the strength of the sense of self. With strong identification, you get anxious, angry, upset. Without much identification, you can laugh. I like that. I like that. Hey, hi, Raider. Hey. Yo, looks like a neck I want to kiss and lick. You're so funny, Raider. Oh my gosh, you're funny. Hello. If this is story time, I'm out. No, I'm done. I'm done. I personally don't go around telling people I want to lick them, says Sister Callie. Oh, God. Yeah, he's joking. He says that because of my picture with my head back. It's not even me. I wish it was me. I just needed to find someone or for an avatar with darkish color hair, but I do have some reddish highlights in. You just can't. You can kind of see them, but they're anyway. This length, and I found one, but yeah, that's not me. So he's just being, he's just being funny. So yeah, so that's what that is. Not a lot of reading. Oh my gosh, I grabbed the wrong photo album. But these are some pictures of my mom at the end. Boy, something else. I thought I grabbed the right photo album. But I just want to show some singular pictures of my mom. I've shown some pictures in the past. I can't remember if I showed all of these, but this is my mom. I think she was in her 40s there, with her husband on top. Her hair's short. And that is where they had their, what is it called? Houseboat on the Hudson Bay behind there. And then, of course, that's her down below. They raised, oh my gosh, what are those dogs called? They get really, giant schnauzers, right? The giant ones. So they were into that. There's a picture of her with a giant schnauzer. She's probably in her 50s there. Looks like this giant schnauzer had puppies. These were all, and she was giving one of them a little milk bottle, and there's a whole bunch more. So that's what they did. I talk and sound like Minnie Mouse. Do I really? Oh, no. No. So anyway, that was in New York. And then here's another one of her. I'm thinking, yeah, this is definitely maybe 40s. I'm not quite sure. There she is with one of the dogs. It's her birthday today, and she passed away in February. That's her in her, I'm pretty sure she's in her 50s there. And this picture right here is the last, is it the last time I saw her? No, it couldn't be. No, it's just the same kitchen. But that's her, of course, in the kitchen. And, yeah. Is this I wonder, part of me thinks, oh, that's crazy. That's me visiting their antique shop, sitting there in the black, I don't know what, sweater or something. That's in Key West, Florida. And, yeah, this was the room I stayed in. That's what it was when I visited her there. So, I mean, yesterday was, today feels a little bit, well, I don't know, maybe not a little bit harder. Hi, Rock This Girl. Hello. Yeah. I could pass for sounding like Betty Boop. You're so funny. At least you make me laugh. Yeah. This is her in front of a tent. Probably in Iowa. And this, it's a little funny. Does she have a cat on her shoulder? This is her mom, possibly skiing for the first time ever. That's Helen. See the cat? And I'm noticing she's got lipstick on. Yeah. I've talked a lot about the houseboat in New York when I visited her for 2 weeks, and I literally had to take some kind of Dramamine thing. Oh my gosh, but it worked. That's their houseboat. A better picture of it. It'd be kind of neat to live on one, wouldn't it? Boy, now I think they were training these dogs, the giant schnauzers, for cops. But I could be wrong on that because I don't think I've ever seen a giant schnauzer run after a bad guy. So it just couldn't be that. That was later on when he maybe. Yeah, I don't even know how Steve is doing, you guys. I can't imagine being with someone for 40 some years, like we all go through, and then they pass. He was about, I think he was 8 or 10 years younger than her, I think. Steve. So I had some pictures of her when she was younger in the other photo album. One thing that just made me burst into tears yesterday, oh my gosh, was I was sitting on the couch. We had been back for a while, and Shaylin was on the chair, the separate chair, and she leaps up and she goes, "Oh my God!" And I mean, I just didn't know what on earth was happening. And she saw a hummingbird. Now, this is the second hummingbird because I saw one I think it was last year. And I believe it's because I have real flowers out there. And I had real flowers the year before out there, but not all the other years, always just fake and whatever. And so is it a coincidence? I don't know. But my mom's favorite bird was hummingbird. I burst into tears because I haven't had any signs of her really that I've noticed or recognized since February, and on Mother's Day for this hummingbird to come. Now, I didn't see it because I was back like this on the couch. My daughter did. And then of course I was like, was it yellow? It wasn't yellow, was it? That was her favorite color. And she said, I don't know. It was so quick. But I don't know. I guess hummingbirds come out in the spring, apparently. And I've been in this apartment for, April 21st made 24 years, but not in this apartment. So 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 18 years in this apartment, 6 in another one. Okay. Oh, hi, Tupac's wife. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. Wow. The ladybug at the end of my name on here represents the sign me and my bestie chose before she passed. It's your mom, hun. No, don't say that. No. I just couldn't stop bawling. Oh, God, it probably was my mom. I had the flu so bad, you guys, I couldn't go. And I think, right, since my stress-induced heart attack, I think, like, I almost think God knew it would be too much for me to see her dying when I hadn't seen her in 14 years. She would have been 84 today. Yeah, 84, because I'll be 63 in June. Yeah, I mean, so many people go through it. All those years I was over on Dolly Vision and in chat, my mom died, my mom's sick. My mom, has 2 weeks left of cancer. My dad's on hospice. I mean, I would read all that stuff and be like, gosh, I'm so glad it's not me yet. And I would say now and then, not even every day or anything, Lord, please let me see my mom one more time. Just the last few years, I was just kind of like, please let me be able to see her one more time. But I assumed I would. She assumed I would. That's why we didn't push it. That's why she had company when she was, feeling well. Thanks so much. Well, I read the Little Jesus Calling book, and I think you said, Rock This Girl, you read it, and it's really, really helpful. It's such a wonderful little book. And then I read Journey Through Grief or whatever. And then, of course, my reflections. This one. This poor woman. I looked her up on Google, Sarah Young, to see that wrote this Jesus Calling. She died of cancer. I think it was, 7 years ago or something. So, but yesterday on Mother's Day, my son told me that in the fall, when it cools down, he's going with his dad. And at first he said he was just to visit. But then he kind of said, no, we're going to look for a place. And then he said, either in Port Angeles, which is about an hour from here, and it's by the water, and that would be okay, or Spokane. I'm like, what on earth? I mean, this is the thing. And he could be watching, my ex. His burial plot is in Spokane. He told me that. So my son, who has all these issues, who can barely cope with life, you guys, which he doesn't understand or see, and he will when he visits, he takes him that far away from me and he passes, then what? So, yeah, well, yeah, and he does need a visit. And, oh, that's true. That's true. I would be able to sing again, wouldn't I? He's left so many times, you guys, 19 times before this 5 years, back and forth, back and forth. Every time he went, I didn't know when he was coming back. Would it be 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 months? And I've said this before, the longest he stayed with him, and I don't even think he realizes this, my ex, is 3 months. He's always been with me. He and his dad think I have abandonment issues. It's not that. It's that I don't drive. I mean, yeah, I can hop on a bus, but Spokane from here? I mean, where his dad is now is 6 hours away, and I think Spokane is another from, that area near Moses Lake and that whole area. Spokane is another, 4 or 6 or maybe even 9? Probably not 9. So, but this is a thing. I can't future trip. I can't worry. And I'm not mincing words. I said, your father will not let you stay on your med that you need, the Zoloft. Oh, yeah, he said he would. Mm-mm. No, no. So that's the thing. You know, he's back on it, thank God, and he's doing so much better. I mean, he absolutely um, was depressed and freaked out, wanted me to have his phone, and was tempted to call the police on himself, even, you guys. It was bad, the withdrawals. And that's why I didn't do a live for that whole week, because I knew there'd be constant this and he would need me. But, you know, but then last night I was like, well, he'll go, he'll visit, and maybe he won't want to stay. Because this is a thing. Some people can drink and be all happy go lucky, right? And then some people can drink and kind of get more flirtatious or whatever. And they're just happier. What I've noticed with my ex, is he'll drink and then it's obvious there's a little bit of flirtation and giddiness. And then it slowly morphs into despondency and slight anger. And then you're wondering, great, what is it going to be like tonight? I'm not kidding. And my son has experienced that stuff. And that causes anxiety. And he's already got an anxiety issue. So it is his life and he does have to live it. And just my mom told me years ago, how did she say it? You can't keep bad things from happening to your children or something. Because I was worried about something or other. I don't know. When my son was younger, or I think he was 4, and my ex wanted to divorce me. And then he changed his mind because I got a lawyer, not because of that, but he was trying to take my son from me. Just over anger. I mean, good grief. Hi, Rapper, Dr. Pepper. So, yeah. Okay, so your daughter is 6 and she has autism. She'll probably live with you forever. Yeah, and it depends, right? How severe it is. I mean, this is the thing. When he was a teen, he didn't have any of this. And then he started exhibiting some signs, but they weren't as noticeable because he was doing his, and the bongs and drinking with his friends and stuff. Now, I didn't just readily allow that and have him walk around cemeteries and go out into the night. That stuff all happened when he stayed with his dad. I would let him have a friend spend the night and things like that, but no, you're not going to be underage and be drinking in my house. And yeah, so I found that out quite a few years later from my son himself. Now, but yeah, the onset of all of the anxiety and the depression and the severe OCD and the constant hand washing till your hands are bleeding type deal started when he was, how old was he? He was in his teens, but a little later teens. And then the germophobia thing went away and it became intrusive thoughts. So, he's been on a lot of different meds and he does good when he's on them. And then he goes and visits a certain person and goes off them and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, you know, back and forth, back and forth. And honestly, now it's worse. And I want him to have a life. I mean, 10 years ago, I I didn't have a car, so I found a friend at the AA hall and we moved him in to his own place. That's not somebody trying to keep him here, you know. And it was his birthday and brought his cake over there, and I bought, matching towels, little bath sets, so it'd be homey and everything. But I've said this before, he was convinced beyond a doubt that people were doing METH around him and it was coming through the kitchen walls. I'm not kidding. And that's because there was a little notice saying in March they were going to discuss the problem that a few people, okay, I don't know who, had in this building of this disabled and elderly living situation area. And the guy next to him was like in his 80s or 90s. He was a really old man. And I said, Booker, he's not doing that. That doesn't mean every single person, right? This kind of thing. And so he just could not function. And in 10 days, moved him in, moved him out, moved him back in because he found out the carpeting was new. And then the whole whatever, and had to move him out. In hindsight, should I have left him there? Possibly. Rent was really cheap. I don't know. It was his very first time on his own, and he was freaked out. And that's when all the signs were happening. And every year it progressed worse, to where about 8 years ago, no, 6 years ago, he ran away and stuff. And yeah, I thought he had schizophrenia, but they say the mental word he doesn't is magical thinking due to autism. Twice I was told that. But I read this the other day. This is why I got the book. And I really like it. It says, "Thank me for your problems." This was May 11th. So this was yesterday, Mother's Day. "As soon as your mind gets snagged on a difficulty, bring it to me with thanksgiving. Then ask me to show you my way to handle the situation. The very act of thanking me," meaning God, because God is talking in this book, "releases your mind from its negative focus. As you turn your attention to me, the problem fades in significance and loses its power to trip you up. Together we can deal with the situation, either facing it head on or putting it aside for later consideration." This is the part I really liked. And this was yesterday when he told me this stuff, that he was going with his dad. First it was to visit, but then I could tell he was going to be staying. The second part of this, yesterday's reading, is most of the situations that entangle your mind are not today's concerns. Can you believe that, you guys? I mean, that's what this said. You have borrowed them from tomorrow. In this case, I lift the problem out of today and deposit it in the future, where it is veiled from your eyes. In its place, I give you my peace, which flows freely from my presence. So she writes these little things, right? But it's all scriptural underneath, Philippians and things like that. And so I put a little piece of paper in there because I'll probably have to read this every day once he's gone. Because once he's gone, I mean, the whole room is empty. I have to shut the door for a while, but then I think he's behind the door, so I'll leave it open. It's very weird. Um, yeah. And again, my daughter will find out next week if she got her job that's pretty close by here. So, my heart is good. I saw the cardiologist on Friday, and uh, thank you. Someone said very good subject. It's very interesting lettering. Thank you, Tupac's wife. Happy Mother's Day to all of you people, too. Um, I mean, it feels recovered. I have no pain, no pressure. It was getting worse while I was in the hospital. It was scaring me. I was like, oh my God, you know. But I felt safe, right? I'm in the hospital. I'm not going to die. Um, but they took really good care of me. And anyway, in 4 months, I'm going to have an ultrasound done. And he's going to find out if it's totally his word, recovered. Not repaired, not good, recovered. That's the word he used. And he said, stay on your management. That was the other word he used, meaning my medicines. And I asked him if I'm doing too much exercise, riding my bike 3 times a week, about a mile and then a mile back to the AA hall or wherever I go to, the doctor's appointment. And I thought, he might say, well, but he didn't. He said, no, keep it up. Because keeping that muscle strong, God forbid I ever have another one, maybe at least then I'll have a strong heart. Thanks, Tupac. You've done your best, Tina. Your son is beyond blessed to have you as his mama. Only you understand him. Well, yeah, I mean, I know in my gut and in my heart, I know I've been the best mom I can be. I know I've tried to get him out of the house. I know I've said things like, you don't have an option. You're going for a walk today. Like I'll talk like that and then he'll do it. It's so odd. Not all the time, not so much anymore. When he maybe like a couple years ago, it's like, nope, and because you need that sunshine, and you need that oxygen and that air. And he always feels better, you know. Um, wow, magical thinking. Yeah. What? Wait, did he leave? No, he's leaving in the fall when it cools down. And that's the other thing. I said, Parker, it's so blasting hot in Spokane. I've been there. My dad used to live there. And I visited there when I was 16. Yeah. Well, hi, Sub-Zero Flames. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're doing well too. Yeah, my priority is to stay stress free. And when I was talking to my friend Ed, he's in his early 80s. And he's a really nice guy, has a lot of sobriety, he's really smart. He said something really simple to me when I felt like drinking once. It was around Mother's Day, and it was a good, oh my gosh, 10 years ago or so. Wait, I have 14, so it was 9. He simply said, Megan, why would you turn your back on God? And I just, and he wasn't trying to make me feel bad, but he reminded me, this is why in the program, You have to have a belief in something other than yourself. And that's why they say um, God can be good, orderly direction. It can be the AA hall, right? Um, you don't want to put your sponsor on a pedestal, but whatever it is. And cleaning out all that wreckage, doing the steps, talking to another person about your past is freeing and won't keep you stuck in that drinking thing. And I'll just never, ever forget it. It's like, yeah, he's right. So, oh, stayed off YouTube yesterday. Yeah, me too, actually. Um, it's kind of nice, like I don't know when I'm going to be here. I know the first year and a half, even, I was live like every night doing some true crime or serial killer in another country, if you look back at my lives. But I I have to listen to my body. And so, like, even when I was talking to Ed about things that were going to happen in the fall and how it worries me, and I'm kind of angry that I'm not given more time, like 6 months, for my heart to completely heal before my son leaves. So then I'm like thinking about me, and I'm like, why are they discussing this when they know how it's going to affect me and my heart? But this is the thing. If I stay stress free or try not get worked up about things and exercise and look at the cup half full, not half empty, like, okay, he'll see his dad, he'll get to spend that time with his dad, because he's not that healthy himself. I just don't want to get that darn phone call like I have in the past. Mom, I can't get home. Well, what's the address? I don't know. Things like this, right? Well, we got to call the police. No, no. Well, at least go back into the store and call the police and be like, no, no, Mom, I'll be okay. Click. And I'm 6 hours away and it's nighttime. And he's left to go get beer for him with a fucking flashlight and no phone. Okay? This is what I dealt with in the past. Luckily, he made it home safe. He recognized the backsides or whatever of these different trailer park area. But that's what I mean. It's hard enough to have someone with autism spectrum, but then to just feel absolutely helpless. Yeah, 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 I know. And that's just one of many calls that I got, you guys. Just different things. Different things. I'm going to be put on a train. Things like this. I'm like, what? I mean, he's so trusting. He'd probably, if someone offered him a beer on a train, he'd get off the train and go have it. I mean, stuff like that, I agree. I don't want her to get another. So, yeah. So I was talking to Ed and I just started bawling. And then I felt like I was getting worked up and I said, I got to just stop. And he said, yeah, you do. So we started talking about Mount St. Helens blow up and the old man that wouldn't leave. He told me his name was the name of that Truman, Harry Truman, which I think was a president. He said that was the name, and he was in his 90s, and they never did recover him, of course. So then he was pointing at the mountain, because I'm in Bellingham, and we have mountains, and we have Mount Baker and stuff. It's pretty big. I've never been there. I've lived here since 1991. My daughter has. She skied down that mountain and everything. But he's like, that would be like half of that mountain being blown off. I'm like, good grief. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just, if I could have two wishes, more than anything, more than money, more than, some man that loves me in my life, more than anything. Uh, well, of course, I'd love to have my mom come back, but she's passed. But something doable would be Parker to be in like a home where he's happy and looked after, or where they check in on you every day, but he feels like he has his own place. And if he needs to call him at 2 in the morning because he left his key at home and there's a blizzard, or whatever. Um, that. And the other one would be to know that my daughter is financially okay. And because you guys, she does. She fears that she'll be homeless someday. And she fears that because her not having any work experience has been hard for her to get hired anywhere. People want to hire someone with experience, but we're hopeful because the manager is supposed to be calling her, not, oh, will you give us a call on? No, she's supposed to be calling her. And they physically met, all three of us met. So there's hope, but and I hate that for her to have to worry. And I told her things are always changing and always evolving. And you could meet a really nice man at one of your jobs, and you may not plan on even getting pregnant. That could happen. And then you might get married, or you don't have to. And you just don't know what life is going to bring you. But when you're an older mom like me, 62, and your daughter is 21, and your son is 29 and has issues, it's different, to say the least, than mothers that had kids in their 20s and things like that. I mean, I was 33 when I had Parker, which I thought was, an okay age, young enough, whatever. But I was 41 when I had Shaylin. And I know there's many women out there, right, that have babies when they're older. Well, I'm here to say you might want to rethink that a little bit. You know what I mean? If you can. So, yeah, Tashi, I know maybe it won't happen. Um, maybe it won't. Yeah, there are group homes, and that's where he was, with a place where they could all eat together. And I showed him the washer and dryers down on the bottom floor. He was on the seventh floor. So clear back then, um, he was getting SSI and qualified for it and was willing to be in a place like that. The older he gets, and the more my ex says, oh, you need a girlfriend, you need to get married, you need to go out and get a job. Well, yeah, we all need that. But can he do it? And honestly, I think if he had a job, and even if he wasn't like having to talk to people and all that, just sweeping floors or cleaning, it would make him feel good. But would he keep it? Is there consistency? Would he just blow it off? Do you know what I mean? Like, so the comparisons constantly. Well, I was this and I was that, and I had this many girls, and I was married by this and that, just makes him feel like shit. Okay. And I almost hope he's watching right now, because that makes him feel bad. You don't compare yourself as a parent in any shape, way, or form to your child. I mean, lessons are good. Yeah, why don't you get, but not the expectancy, not the demandingness, not the I don't know, I can't explain it, but yeah. All right, you guys, I've been live an hour and 15 minutes. Tupac, if I win the lottery, I'll buy you guys a house. You're so funny. Well, honestly, my trust fund is below 1,000. It's below. I mean, and I thought, where did all the money go? Well, I'll tell you. I got contacts because I needed them to renew those when I ride my bike. And then I got new glasses because the other ones were peeling away and they were so scratched that you could barely see through them. So I got new glasses. Um, my daughter got new glasses. I think she paid for her own. We got some pillows. I bought the kids nice mattresses, not bed sets, but mattresses because they were crap. Um, I used my money, maybe I shouldn't have, but I did, to get him his computer chair and different things like this. Um, and the cats, I've said this before, they were only $75 to get the mama and the kitten fixed, but the other two kittens were $350 a piece. So boom, there's 700. I mean, it just goes and goes. And all the litter, I have to buy 4 to 6 litters every time I go to the store. And I'm lugging. And so now, since my heart attack thing, Shaylin comes with me and lugs them into you know, the cart because I'm not gonna. I mean, I could do it, but I don't know if I should. Stuff that heavy. And big ass bags of cat food. And, I loved having guinea pigs, but thank God I'm not dealing with that anymore. It's just too much. And Charlie passed, and he lived a good 9 years. But, so yeah, so I don't, I have no security. I have no security of my future. Um, we're literally living paycheck to paycheck. I'm just saying. And I'm not grifting right now. I'm not going to put up my PayPal, and I'm not going to talk about money like this and put up my PayPal or Cash App. I'm not going to do it. It's been up in the past. And if people want to ever donate to my channel or help me with the cats or kittens, that's fine. But I just don't agree with people that have so much, okay? Different creators out there, and they want more and more and more and more for whatever reason. I don't, because some people are older and they give their last $5 or $10 or $20. And to me, it's sad. Um, you know, but so yeah, it's I've always future tripped and I don't want to. I literally, that's why AA is good for me, you guys. It reminds me of the Serenity Prayer. I don't go because I feel like drinking. I don't feel like drinking at all. I wake up with a lower backache and a neck ache, and I can't imagine being hungover with it. It would be horrible. And I don't want to lose my date. And I'm proud of my date. I mean, 14 years is freaking pretty dang long. And it went by fast. I remember when I had 44 days and counting, you know, but it's good for me because I laugh and people are funny. And um, we were talking about Mother's Day, and some people think it's kind of just, I don't know, just a card holiday, which I don't agree with. But, and then other people were like, well, why don't they, what about, you know, um, James Day or whatever day. And that's the thing about alcoholics, are very egocentric and selfish people. Like we are. They are. And so it was funny when they were like, well, Mother's Day, why not, my day? And the person said his name, and he was being facetious. He has a lot of time now. But everybody was laughing because that's how an alcoholic can act. So I was laughing, and when the lady said, I can't keep, she's older and has a lot of time, I can't seem to keep people rent free out of my head. They want to set up camp there. And, I just thought it was so hilarious. I've never heard anyone say set up camp in my head. So I go and I laugh and I learn and I help if I can, you know. But it's just we're the same regular folk. There isn't a newcomer walking through the door. Nobody wasted, or anything like I experienced at the other hall down the street for 5 years. Because I was at OPP, our primary purpose, for 5 years. And then I was 5 years at Northwest, right here, literally 3 minutes from me, when I would walk the pug dog. And then during the, C disease, I didn't go. And I wasn't on Zoom, and I didn't want to have anything to do with this. And that was around the time, in 22 anyway, in the middle of it, when I found Team Rose's show and Benny Keys and Ernie Shell and Dolly Vision and all the other ones out there, and started getting into watching all this stuff. And then lo and behold, I'm on panels, and do you know what I mean? And so it all just transpired that way. But I was never liked YouTube, never any of this. So yeah, so I'm doing that, and but I'm listening to my body, and that's what I want to say is listen to your body, folks. If you're having a pain that just won't go away, do not assume that it's acid reflux. Do not. They'll give you a little barium peppermint drink, take a picture, and they can find out for you. And that's what they did to me, my first video in the hospital. And then they came in and said, it's your heart. And that's when I started crying live, because I was like, what in the heck? Because for those that don't know, I had a stroke 4 years ago, and that was scary enough. So thank you, everybody, for being here and listening and caring. And hit the like, and if you would, and subscribe if you're willing to. And thank you to the new people that come in and have subscribed and are watching me. 32 people in the tulip fields, now 29, because they know I'm ending it. Or I'm just boring as all get out. But I'm going to play that Voices song. And if you're into true crime in Ireland, and she shows, she has the most incredible videos, you guys. Footage and colorful and rolling hills and pictures, and oh my gosh, she's truly amazing. Really good community posts, and she helps too to try to solve things and bring closure to the families. But this song, Voices, by Patrick someone, is her song. And it's, again, Irish coffee true crime. Yeah, that's what it is. And here it is, Voices. Patrick Patricios. Kind of sad. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, William Brooklyn. I remember you. Your chat was always cool with me. Glad you're back. That's very sweet. Thank you. Keeping your mental health as fit as possible is so important for you and your stress levels, Tina. Thank you. You deserve a peaceful, serene environment full of love and positivity. We all do. Thank you. You're an alcoholic, William Brooklyn. Well, it's never too late. You don't have to drink tomorrow if you get to an AA meeting. You don't have to. Being an alcoholic is very lonely. Many people isolate themselves. I never did. I had to head straight to a bar, listen to music, maybe dance a little, and talk to other people. I never pulled the shades down and, you know what I mean? And just downed a bunch of booze. Oh, that's wonderful. There's Irish Coffee True Crime. Mary Jane Doe put it in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, she's really, really good, you guys. Yeah. Irish Coffee True Crime. Go take a look. I'm telling you, you'll be addicted like I was. But it's kind of sad, but her beautiful Irish voice and the way she tells the story, and that song Voices in the beginning, and she has a little quote, a quote too. It's beautifully done, beautifully done. Thank you everyone for being here and letting me express myself on my mom's heavenly 84th birthday. I love you, Mom. This was for you. Good night, all.